Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC show. I am your host, Paul Krieger, and I'm joined at the table this week by sales agent extraordinaire Derek DeBoer from the DVC resale market.
Hey now.
My lovely wife, Amy Krieger, also loan origination manager for Monera Financial, and our producer,
Extraordinaire.
Hello,
everyone. Wow.
John Sakari, a.k.a. Big Fat Panda.
I'm feeling kind of left out here. Where's my cool title?
I said my lovely wife. Does that
I don't
not?
want to be lovely. I want to be extraordinary.
She needs an extraordinary title,
Yeah.
Paul.
Be on the couch tonight, everybody.
No, not if you bring home a sandwich.
Oh, boy. This sandwich thing has gone through 3 episodes now. Panda's just going to start putting pictures of the sandwich like in the middle of the shows and stuff
I need
like
details
that.
on what sandwich it was.
It's like, didn't
the
they?
Italian one at the Boardwalk Deli.
Didn't they used to think that they did that with like movies with like Coke products and popcorn?
Subliminal
Yes.
messages of like random popcorn like that's like behind the scenes and stuff like that, and then you're like halfway through the movie and you're like, I need popcorn right now. Like I cannot finish this movie.
That's Amy with the boardwalk sandwich.
Yeah, there'd just be like a thought bubble here, and that sandwich just pops up. Anyway.
Thank you guys for joining us this week for this week's episode of the DVC show. We are going back to our Resort Spotlight series this week and talking about Disney's Wilderness Lodge. We decided to put this together. Copper Creek, Boulder Ridge. We would sort of talk about the same things if we were talking about either resort. So we said, let's mush them together into a Wilderness Lodge Resort Spotlight episode. Before we get into it, though, please, if you love our content, show some love for our sponsors over at the World of DVC, DVC Resale Market. Hit up Derek if you're looking to get that used timeshare of your dream, or if you're looking to sell your Disney Vacation Club property or something like that. How used is the used timeshare, Derek?
Extraordinary.
Extraordinarily used.
I don't know if that sounds good.
I don't know if you want that title anymore, Amy. If you're looking to finance your Disney Vacation Club resale purchase, you can head over to the extraordinary Amy Krieger over at Monera Financial.
Thank you.
And then if you're looking to rent out points, try points before you buy, or potentially rent your own points, you can just go to the ordinary Paul Krieger over at DVC Rental Store, and we would be happy to assist. But please show some love for those sponsors. But this week, like I said, we were going to talk about Wilderness Lodge, talk a little bit about Boulder Ridge and Copper Creek. I think these are very, very popular resorts when it comes to the Disney Vacation Club repertoire, if only based off of how quickly Copper Creek sold and how excited people were when they said that they were going to add more Disney Vacation Club to Wilderness Lodge when Copper Creek came around. But before Copper Creek existed, there was Boulder Ridge, and it is actually one of the 2042 resorts, which we just did a big show on. But I go back to, we've received a lot of messages. Derek, I think we got an email that was sent to both of us about hating on Boulder Ridge in the past year, and just because of the fact that
we're hating on the rooms.
We're hating on the rooms, not the resort.
It's just the rooms at the time.
Yes, it needed the refurbishment, but the refurbishment is ongoing. It is going to be done pretty soon, and it is gorgeous.
That's like saying we're not disliking this person, just their hair.
Right, so we're encouraging them. We're encouraging them to change their hair. Then they change their hair, and you go, "Wow, you're beautiful." That's all it is. We say it because we love you. That's what we did.
Exactly, and we want to be honest to the people out there. Amy's Amy's hair. You should change it. Like maybe go with some pink streaks. Or
we like that resort.
Thank you, Panda. Thank you.
Smooth right there.
I do want to point out the difference because I think it can get confusing sometimes, especially to new buyers. Boulder Ridge was obviously the first, and it was built as an outer building, so it is not attached to the main lodge building, but there is a really easy, short, very well covered path area to get to it, and it has a green roof, so you can tell it apart or it has a red roof, and the red, I think it's red, right? Orangish red.
I thought you were
Okay.
right at green. It's definitely not a red.
Green.
Wait.
I don't think it's a red roof inn. Those are like $29.99 a night.
No,
And that's
it's-
not. That
it's
doesn't scream
red.
Disney. That you're gonna get the angry hate mail after this episode.
Oh
now.
my goodness.
I tried to swap my points for a Red Roof Inn.
Okay, anyway, so going back to what I was saying, and I'm going to pull up a quick map right here. Yes, Boulder Ridge is a reddish, orangish colored roof, and then
okay.
the rest of the Wilderness Lodge is green. But so that just so you can kind of tell it apart, I guess you might not be looking at the roof, but it's an outside building, and it is it has its own very small lobby. It has studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and does it have grand
No.
villas? No, there are no grand villas at Boulder Ridge. And then Copper Creek, which was not built not too long ago, they took a wing, so a section from the Wilderness Lodge to turn it into Copper Creek, and they also added the addition of the cabins, the 2-bedroom cabins, the Cascade cabins along the water there. And so Copper Creek has studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3-bedroom grand villas, and then they also have 2-bedroom cabins. And it's all inside. And then one other thing that I just want to say real quick, because this gets asked all the time on DVC Fan, but there are 2 studio types that you can book at Copper Creek. It's just the regular deluxe studio, and then the other one's called deluxe studio with walk-in shower. And if you pick one of the ones that are called deluxe studio, all of those are on the first floor with a few exceptions. There are some corner rooms on the other levels that are oddly shaped, and they're a little bit larger, and they're very hard to get because everyone requests them because they're really kind of cool. So those rooms, the deluxe studios, have bathtubs, and then the ones with the walk-in showers are on like all the other floors and has a walk-in shower. So just a little differentiation between the two that you didn't ask for.
Red roof inn and everything. I think another key indicator between Boulder Ridge and Copper Creek, before we really go into sort of what we like about these properties and things like that, is that these are separate associations. So it's not a similar situation like you have at Animal Kingdom Lodge, where you've got shared 7 to 11 month home resort priority. These are different condo associations, which means that if you own at Boulder Ridge, you get 7 to 11 month priority at Boulder Ridge. If you own at Copper Creek, you get 7 to 11 month Copper Creek. So it is basically at the same location, share similar amenities and all of that kind of stuff, but they are separate. But overall, like the general theming of Boulder Ridge and Copper Creek, the whole resort area, I think, is going after that Pacific Northwest vibe. I'm not from the Pacific Northwest. I'm actually from sort of mid Ohio Valley area, northeastern area. But it even harkens that for me, because we have some cabins, we have some properties, up in that area. So we discussed this on the last show, but I think what really makes this unique is it is an escape, which is what Disney does try to do with all of these properties, is that they really try to transport you to wherever that theme is going to be. And we did a dining show recently. We were talking about Geyser Point and sitting out on the little patio area there, and you're not at Disney, and yet you're at Disney.
Well, I mean, I always feel like for me, Wilderness Lodge. And when I say Wilderness Lodge, I'm just trying to keep it, we're encompassing Boulder, we're encompassing Copper. I'll just say Wilderness Lodge. For me, it's such a beautiful, amazing resort that I think, honestly, if I could take someone who says, I haven't been to Disney World since, I was a fetus and I really don't remember it much.
You said it.
I think for like a wow factor for me would be to take them to the Wilderness Lodge. So I think to show them and say, wow, is this really what Disney is capable? Because for me, when you're driving in there, even that sense of arrival that you get, it's unlike any other resort to pass under
it's like the Jurassic Park gate you go through.
Right.
And it's like, welcome to
you kind of make that,
Wilderness Lodge.
left-hand turn, or, depends on where you're coming from, and you see that big sign that says Wilderness Lodge, and then you'll see the totem poles on the way, and you're in the middle of the forest, and then you make that left-hand turn, and you see this lodge, and it's just so massive. And so your jaw starts to drop until you park your car, and then you walk in. And that moment, still after staying there, a billion times, I still am overwhelmed. I think every time when I walk in there, and no resort has better walk-in goosebumpy music than I think the Wilderness Lodge, because it's that sense of arrival, like, where am I? And you look up and you see that fireplace and all the stone and the lodge and the restaurants over here. For me, it is such an escape. And I think there's so many nooks and so many crannies and so many hidden places to sit and read a book or have a coffee, or then you walk out back and you see the fountain that's in the lobby, the stream, and then you realize the stream goes outside and then down the hill, and it actually goes into the actual swimming pool, and you could stand out back and be in that swimming pool and in the lodge, and you turn around and you see the lodge and just all of its glory, and then you turn the other way, and you know what I love is that you don't see a castle, you don't see an Epcot ball, you really don't see anything except the lake, trees and forest, and you really have this feeling like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And so, oh, stop it.
I have like,
but it is. Yeah, for me, it's got such a sense of just, I have a lot of history, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I think for me, it always goes back to telling people and say, you know, this is Disney. When I think of what is Disney capable of transporting you, I think more so than any other resort, I think the Wilderness Lodge has that.
The thought that went into all of that as well, because you talk about the entrance, but the entrance is even when you're on a boat as well. Yeah. Because if you've ever taken a boat over to Wilderness Lodge, there's a perfect angle where if you look at it, it looks like a grizzly bear.
Yes.
It looks like a bear. And it's like
eyes and the
like,
face. Yeah.
Like, to think about that in a design process just blows my mind. Like, because you've got the guy that's thinking, well, it's got to look this way from the lake, so you can't put that roof like that. And then you're trying to mesh that with the rooms and all of the amenities and all of that other stuff. And yet Disney does it every time. Disney does it.
And Wilderness Lodge, the inspiration for Wilderness Lodge was multiple different like national park lodges, but there is one that like really stands out that if you look at a picture of it, it's called the Old Faithful Inn, and it's in Yellowstone, and it just like you're like, wow, that's it. Like, it looks so much very similar. Like, you just see the inspiration, and it just almost like transports you like you are in like a national park, staying, you know, in a rustic lodge. But the first time that I've ever been in Wilderness Lodge was when we did our coast to coast Disneyland Disney World trip, and so when we first got back to Disneyland or Disney World from Disneyland, and we had stayed, and we weren't DVC members at Grand Cal at that time, so we stayed at the Hilton, and it was kind of a disappointment back in California. So it was like when we finally got to Disney World and we got into Copper Creek, into the lodge, it was just like, wow, like this place is just, you know, amazing. And one of the things I was just really like blown away by was the foliage, and you know what I mean, like the trees and the plant life, and we took the boat from the dock over there over to Magic Kingdom for the Christmas party, and I just love that like wooden path and how there were pine trees coming out of it, and it was just so cool.
Gonna say that. I was just gonna say, like, one of those hidden gems. Literally, as you're talking, I was like, I wonder if she's gonna mention the path to the boats to be able to, because that place, when you're in there, you're like, just again, transported into like, I can't believe all the foliage. And it's so great because there's so much to do at the resort. And you know that Disney and the Magic Kingdom is literally just a boat ride away. But I've stayed there many times, and we'll do little staycations. We went in this past December, and just for one night. We didn't go to a park because I think there's just so much to do. There's multiple pools and a great game room. So you could have a great stay without even going to a park. But it's great knowing that a park is right there. Magic Kingdom is just a boat ride away.
Yeah, and I mentioned it already, but truthfully, like, now being an Orlando local, like, I think this resort means more to me now than it did before, just because it does have those things that does remind me of home. The pine trees, just the rustic nature of it and stuff like that. Reminds me of, you know, West Virginia, country roads. Yeah. Take me home.
And then, you know, you go into the lobby, you've got that beautiful fireplace at Christmas time.
Let's be honest. Christmas time, the Wilderness Lodge is the quintessential Christmas hotel.
Yeah.
People walk in and just fall down crying because it's so beautiful.
The tree
They're in the
amazing.
fetal position.
And a lot of people don't know
Back
this.
to fetuses, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
That's 3 times in one show, ladies and gentlemen.
And a lot of people don't know this, but so we've got that beautiful stone fireplace that is on the first floor there, or actually it's not really the first floor. The lobby is like what, the third or something.
Yes.
But then if you go up a couple levels, we're in one of those spaces where you can kind of look out over the lobby. One of those floors, I think it might be 6. I could be wrong if somebody in the comments knows. But there's another little fireplace area there, and it's a lot quieter, and there's seating and stuff. So that's a great place to just chill out. You know what I mean?
You can get some great pictures up there too, like looking down on the main area and stuff like that. I always tell people, go up to the highest floor you can and just sort of look down on just the magnificence. And like they just, I know we've talked about this in terms of other Disney Vacation Club properties, but they just don't build Disney Vacation Club resorts like this anymore. They don't build Disney resorts like this anymore.
Lobbies,
in terms of these grandiose lobbies and things like that, and just having all of this open space to work with, because that's sort of the name of the game at Disney anymore, is like, how much stuff can we fit into this teeny bit of space?
Right. Yeah.
And so it's
and there is so many different places. Like Amy said, there's the path when you go to the boats. For me, I love it. It's just the long hallway that's from that main lobby all the way down to the pool area and the quick service restaurant. It's just this beautiful, majestic, long hallway. And it doesn't sound like much, but I feel like in this day and age, Paul, like they're designing how much stuff can we cram in there. Just the fact of a beautiful stone walkway that leads you down to the quick service restaurant and leads you out to the pool. And I mean, we haven't even talked about pool. I mean, the pool is fantastic. And again, when you stay at one, you also get to use the pool that's over at Boulder Ridge, which is a recently rehab pool, which I enjoyed even more than the main pool. So it's a little quieter, but it's beautiful. So the pools are awesome.
Yeah, that's the one we always go to, and it's like 0 entry, and it's just, you're right, it's very nice. And they have like, they look like cabana type things over there, but they're really not, and you don't have to like book them or anything. You can just use them. It's like first come, first serve. So that's kind of cool also.
And good size hot tubs too. Which it always annoys me when you have these beautiful Disney resorts and the hot tubs are literally like the size of this, and you could fit like 6 people and you're crammed in. These are some pretty nice size hot tubs at both the main pool and the one over at Boulder Ridge. So hot tubs.
Now, a year and a half, 2 years ago now, we had an opportunity to stay in a cabin for one night. And again, like that's a home away from home. Like if you could sell me one of those cabins, like I would just live there and spend my life there. They are just absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
I can do that for you, Paul. It's 1.3 million points and you can live there.
Did you get the frogs at night? That if you outside that cabin, the 2 times, I've had it twice for a night. And I've heard rabber, rabber, rabber all the time.
I have never heard a frog
I did
make that
rescue
noise.
a lizard and like it was inside of our screen, and I thought that was like the only time I'd ever have to experience that. And then we moved to Florida, and now we have like a lizard catching device. It's
Welcome
just
to Florida.
It's called a Tupperware container.
Tupperware container, but Paul makes me do all the lizard catching. But so for the cabins, like if we had enough points, I think it would be awesome just over Christmas. Like bring a small Christmas tree, put it up by the fireplace, you know what I mean? And just spend like the holidays there.
So literally, there's a friend of ours, Jack Frost. He is in I didn't make up that name. That is his name. He is in the DVC fan Facebook group, but he actually just reserved 2 nights at Copper Creek
I saw that.
for Christmas.
He
had posted about it. And
he was looking for a Christmas tree.
We had been joking about it and stuff like that, and I said to him, if you do it, you've got to get a Christmas tree. And so he posted the other day, he's like looking, he's like, does anyone know where we can find discounted end of year Christmas trees
pre-lit,
in the Orlando area, pre-lit trees that I can put in storage?
What dates is he there?
I think he's like 24th and 25th.
Perfect.
Oh, I already told
Hi, Jack. I'll see you there.
Yeah, I already told him, I would definitely be there crashing Christmas, or if he needs me to dress up like anyone, like an elf or something like that, I'd be happy to just sort of show up at the door and surprise the kids and all that kind of fun stuff. So.
I like the cabins, and this may not go over well. I like the cabins. If you gave me a choice, I would rather stay in a Copper Creek cabin than a Polynesian bungalow.
I agree.
That's me.
Well, can I tell you, I was in the Polynesian bungalow for a night, and as I'm getting into the shower, I'm only telling you this because I have bare feet, and this makes a difference. The biggest water bug, which it is a roach to me, it's the big one, walked right across the tile, and my feet almost got touched, and I'm like, you could have heard me at the front desk.
Yeah. Yeah. The bungalows are nice, but they are like on the water and they're not screened in like the back, like the outdoor space at the cabins is screened in. And the other difference is that it's a hot tub at the cabin, which
Right.
I like better as opposed to like a cold, like
They
little
call it a
pool.
They call it a plunge pool, and it just reminds me of like the pool that you
Polar
had.
plunge.
It reminds me of like the little kiddie pool that you had out in your backyard, and it just sat there with stagnant water for like a week and a half, and then you're like, go play in it.
And then people are like, I spent 200 points a night for this little kiddie pool with stagnant water.
yeah. It didn't.
I don't think it's
But yeah, that resort is just, and those cabins, and to add it to me, it's like people look at some resorts and say, "Oh, remember when it used to have this, or remember when it used to have this." To me, out of any Disney Vacation Club resort, it's gotten better with age. Because that resort started off as just a regular hotel. And, then they've added the villas at Wilderness Lodge, and then they've added the Copper Creek. So that resort has just improved with age. And one quick shout out is that does not get enough love, in my opinion, is the little lobby at Boulder Ridge. Mm-hmm. So when you stay there, if you haven't, you're still going to check in the main building. And like Amy said, it's just a quick walk under a sheltered walkway. But then it's got a little private little lobby, like a little circular little area with a little fireplace. And there's all kinds of chairs and little tables. Christmas time, there's a beautiful,
Is that where the trains are?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's where the trains from Walt Disney, is it his personal collection or something? Yeah, which is very cool. So that's just
the
another
Carrollwood Railroad. Yes, it's very cool.
And while we're on the topic of Boulder Ridge, let's not forget, they just are going through a refurbishment right now. We've seen, if you get the Disney Files magazine as a member, or if you've followed us on DVCfan.com, we've posted pictures of what these rooms look like, and they are breathtaking.
Oh, beautiful.
Like, just absolutely breathtaking rooms. The refurbishment was much needed. We've talked about it for a while now. Amy and I are currently scheduled, I believe it is the end of March, for one night at Boulder Ridge. So we do hope to bring you a room tour of Boulder Ridge and a refinished deluxe studio room at that time. And I can't wait to
I'm
experience these
excited,
rooms.
and we haven't even talked about dining yet.
Yeah.
But obviously, in another show we talked about Geyser Point. You've got that over there. You've got Artist. Is it Artist Point still? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But now it's like the character dining with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Whispering Canyon Cafe, and
Territory Lounge.
Territory Lounge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't forget Territory Lounge. You can get some. I know they just revamped their sort of snack menu or their light bites menu. And
any place you can get a drink where they hang bacon on a string. That sounds good.
they also have a specific drink at Territory Lounge that is Disney Vacation Club.
What?
Yes, I got this on a trip one time.
there was an AP one too. Yeah.
There's a specific Disney Vacation Club drink that they have at that lounge. So
Have
You
done
finished it and you want to add on points?
you do. Yeah.
Have you done the storybook dining?
We have, and
I like it.
yeah. So I do. I love the aesthetic in there, like how it looks like trees and stuff. The characters are really good. We had really good food when we went. It's been a while though. We went like pre-pandemic.
Me too.
And then really love Whispering Canyon. I think that the barbecue there is really good. And then
For a quiet, romantic meal at the Whispering Canyon.
Yes. And then obviously, Roaring Fork is a good quick service. They have pool bars. So
they also just had a refurbishment of their menu, and I believe the Diz actually just recently did some food reviews over there too.
It was pretty good. The presentation was weird because it came in the box. So it was like meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy in a box, but it was pretty good.
I think that's an overall thing with a lot of these quick services is like, it's time to bring back plates.
Yeah. Stop,
Plates
the,
are a
stop the
thing.
picnic. Stop the picnic.
We actually want to sit down at a table and eat our meal and stuff like that. Have a little checkbox that says, yes, I will take out and then put it in my bag in the weird brown box. Or no, I'm eating here. Put it on a plate and let me eat here.
Don't waste the paper.
Yeah, don't waste. Yeah, we went the opposite direction in terms of the paper waste, stuff like that. And then obviously Geyser Point, I think it's the runaway favorite. We talk about it all the time. The bison burger there. We've also, I think we had a charcuterie board there one time. I think I've had the turkey sandwich there before.
Yes.
Those are all good options. There's no going wrong there. Wonderful little bar to sort of hang out with.
And they do to go there as well. So if you just want to take it back to your room, you can do that, or you want to go take it, somewhere else.
That's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of good options over there, a lot of good dining options.
Are there any negatives or dislikes that we have to the whole Wilderness Lodge property?
It sounds funny because as you're talking, I'm thinking, I love that resort so much. Because in case you didn't know, and you probably didn't, excuse me, I had my honeymoon there in 1996. So we had one at the time. There was 4 what they were called honeymoon suites. So they were on the very top floor. Just 4 rooms, so that resort will always be very, very special to me. So I love it. But I was thinking of, are there any negatives? Because it really, like I said, it's gotten better and better and better. And I thought about it when I was at the pool, in the main pool right there. There's a building where what used to be the pool bar was right there. They used to have a great pool bar at the Wilderness Lodge. They really did. It's gone. Now I think it's a spa, or it's a place where you can go and get massages. So it's the building that literally is right next to the pool. And every time I always think, I'm like, I wish they had a place, because you had to get up and you got to walk all the way over to Geyser Point in your swimsuit and then order your drinks and come back from there. So I wish that they would find a different place to do massages and just put like a pool bar right there.
Are they still doing massages and stuff there? Has that come back? Or it
I
also
don't
seems
know
like
what's going on in that room.
It also seems like the weirdest location for it too, because it is right there. Like, that's a hustle bustle of activity right there by that. It doesn't scream like relaxation or anything like that.
Yeah. So if anybody knows what goes on in that little building, it's right next to the pool.
Yes.
Tell me.
Even if you don't, make something up and put it in the comments down below. Let us know what's happening in the little building next to the Copper Creek pool.
But yeah,
there.
so a nice little addition to a previous show. We talked about how great little gems many of the pool bars are with things like that. So I think putting something that's a little bit closer to that pool would be nice, but that's nitpicking.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I always hear about just from Copper Creek owners is accessibility to get into those resorts, and that's caused mainly because of the cabins. So when they built that resort, the cabins really hold the bulk of the point charts and the bulk of the points that were sold for the resort. So it can be, if you're a Copper Creek owner, it can be difficult depending on what season you're looking to get in. So it's always just another reason why you need to plan ahead. Make sure that you're on the cutting edge of that 11-month window when you are planning your vacation, so that you can get that studio 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Even if you think that's when you might go, like Paul said, just book it.
Yep.
Seriously, it's your security blanket. Book it. You can always cancel it, whatever, but have it. So at least get it, because it's not easy to get in there.
Yep. Yeah. And so they used to have a boat that you could take. I don't think they brought it back yet, right? From Wilderness Lodge to Fort Wilderness. I don't know that that's back
I'm
yet.
not sure.
But something that I want to mention that we didn't talk about that I do love about Wilderness Lodge also is that it's one of the stops for the electric water pageant.
Oh, yeah.
And so in the evening time, you can, it's easy to see, I think, if you go down by the water by Geyser Point, maybe. But also if you're staying in a cabin, a lot of the cabins can also see it, just depending on what cabin you're in.
And I would also say, back when they were thinking about doing reflections, they actually took out some of the walking path or the running path that I don't know if it actually used to go to Fort Wilderness, if it actually fully went there. I thought so. And that's really something that I would say I never got to experience it, but I miss it.
Yeah.
Just because that's cool if you could have like that walkability to get over to Fort Wilderness directly from there, or have the opportunity to run that distance over to there. There's still the Reflections property. We don't know what they're going to do with it. I know they put pipes in the ground and did other things. I don't think it's off the table forever. I don't think it's going to be Reflections when it comes back, but I think eventually they'll use that property because they've already they're still leaving stuff there, and they've invested some money in the area. So
I always dreamed that they would create like a walking path from Wilderness Lodge to like Contemporary.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds a little crazy, but I used to think that about Grand Floridian. I used to be like, I really want a Grand Floridian walking path to Magic Kingdom, but I don't know if it's possible because of the parade, and they made it happen. So you never know.
You willed it to happen, Amy.
Yeah. You're
and
welcome.
plus, something fun to do when you're there, just go to Geyser Point, like many people do. You grab a drink, grab some food, and just stare at Discovery Island and just realize, my God, I can't believe that really was a plane. You used to buy tickets and you'd have this thing on and say, oh, it also includes admission to Discovery Island, which was like basically almost like a little zoo. And it's been uninhabited for a long, long time. So you sit there and say, I wonder what they're going to do with that little island.
They let all the animals out. And now it's like Jurassic Park. Hey, two Jurassic Park references and 3 fetus references. And,
oh my gosh, don't say that word anymore.
Checklist.
No, but Copper Creek, Boulder Ridge, all of Wilderness Lodge, just a
We
wonderful
love it.
addition to the lineup of Disney Vacation Club properties, and just furthers that, there is a little bit of everything for anyone that is looking at Disney Vacation Club. So I think that will do it for this week's episode of the DVC show.
We've done enough damage.
We've done enough damage, and hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel, and also join in the conversation over at dvcfan.com or in the DVC Fan Facebook group. And that'll be it for us. We will see you all next time.